That's actually not good. Okay, here we are, situated. How was that new moon for you yesterday? It was good for me. I was just chilling, smoking, hanging out. A lot of people that I know are currently living through transitional periods, especially when it comes to relationships. And I think that's really interesting because Virgo is the sixth house. What up, Islin? Virgo is the sixth house, and it's the precursor to the seventh house. The seventh house is a house of relationships. So for a lot of people now during Virgo season, you're realizing the inconsistencies. You're realizing the things that are not working for you in your day-to-day life, in your daily activities, and that ultimately impacts your relationship season coming next with Libra. Okay, so in Virgo season, the step before we get to relationships, we're beginning to see, okay, yes, I do really like this person, we do have really strong compatibility, everything's going great. Or you're saying, oh, hell no, this person is not for me. This is not the sort of energy that I want. And you're making adjustments to your daily life that will then impact your relationships as we get closer to Libra season. Libra being the sign of interpersonal relationships. So whether you are single or considering like a new job, a new business partnership, what have you. What up, Taiwanda? It's been a long time. Um, Regardless of if it's a romantic relationship or if it's a friendship, some other sort of partnership, a lot of people are beginning to see now how these people, how these relationships play into their daily lives and either support them or bring them down. Okay, so a lot of people are seeing their relationships for what they are. Okay, so that is a good thing. The truth is always a good thing. It's good to see who is in our corner and who is an enemy of sorts. So, but it can also be jarring, right? Especially if you are not prepared to act on the truth that you are receiving. So, if any of you are experiencing what I've just explained to you, try and view it as a blessing, okay? Because the truth is always going to help align you to whatever is meant for you, right? If you are never given the truth, then you don't have a firm foundation to build on, right? So, as much as the truth might hurt, the truth can also set you free. So, if you're realizing, oh shit, this person is not who I thought they were, this is not the type of relationship I want, this is not the business partnership that I want, this is not the life that I want, take that truth and use it as motivation to get you where you do want to be. All right? Because we can build our entire lives on top of lies, and that is not a strong foundation. That is not something that is going to withstand any sort of storm, any sort of challenge. So the more that we welcome this truth, right? And here's the thing, this is why a lot of people don't like Virgos. Virgos are going to tell you the truth. Virgos are going to tell you what they see. They're going to tell you what's lacking. They're going to tell you what you need to put more time or effort into. They're going to tell you, like, this ain't it, you know? And that can be difficult for people to handle, especially if you're not necessarily ready for the truth. But again, it's this idea of um, not shooting the messenger, right? And just taking the information and using it to help you be better. So, Virgo season, whether you like it or not, is trying to level you up, is trying to get you prepared for Libra season, for relationship season, for cuffing season, to see who is actually vetted. What up, Lita? To see who's vetted, who you do need to work with, who you need to stay away from. I just made a TikTok video talking, and it was real short, as TikTok videos usually are, but a lot of you guys are in relationships with your biggest opposition, with your biggest op, with your biggest hater. You are in actively in a relationship with them, whether it's a friendship, a partnership, what up, start, a romantic relationship, what have you. Some of the people who are closest to you, good to have you, are the ones preying on your downfall, wishing on your downfall. And it took me a long time to realize that, that was my baby daddy. Like, I was trying to make things work with him for a long time, and I realized, like, this man wants me to fail. This man does not want the best for me. And it took me a long time to see that, like, this energy that I kept feeling that was pulling me down or like keeping me from elevating wasn't like some mystery person far away wishing ill will on me. It was the person I was sleeping in the bed with. So I've seen this play out with a lot of my clients over the last several months as well, where they are literally sleeping with the enemy. um, and, it's not for some people, yeah, they were actively being abused, they were actively being disrespected, they were actively um, being belittled by their partners. And then for other people, it was the snide remarks, the snide comments. It was when they would share their hopes, their dreams, their aspirations, their partners would like knock them down and say, "Oh, you can't do that. That's too big of a goal. That's not going to get you anywhere." So, then for other people, it wasn't necessarily who they were in a relationship with, it was family members and friends. I know specifically one individual. I can't. What up, Scenaria? How are you? I stopped for a second because I was like, "Is that how you say your name?" But some people are your friend. It's your friends that are preying on your downfall. It's your friends who like get excited when your life is going up in flames. It's your friends who just can't wait for the next piece of bad news. Okay. And, there's a difference between feeling like, oh, okay, bad things don't just happen to me, they're happening to other people. Um, and it's one thing to think that, because I've thought that too, where I'm like, okay, it's not just me, it's other people, and there's a certain amount of solace that comes with that. But what I'm talking about is people who are actively preying on your downfall. And a lot of these people are, the call is coming from within the house. So that's not for everyone. I think this is real specific, the people that I'm talking to. Lita said in the comments, you feel like it's your family. Um, for other people, it could be like just friends that you're keeping along. It feels like I'm narrating your life. Okay, then this message is here for you. Virgo season is trying to show you what you need to let go of, who you need to let go of, okay? I like to say Virgo season is our check-in point. Virgo is 6 of the 12, right? We're halfway through the zodiac and we can see, okay, this is what's behind me, and we can see also how far you need to go in front of you. So it is the perfect time for you to assess your daily activities, for you to assess the people that you are in connection with on a daily basis. Um, we also need to assess uh, where we are giving too much, okay? Because Virgo is a sign of service, but guess what? Not everybody needs your service. There's a lot of people who take advantage of Virgos because they know Virgos are very giving. Yeah, they can be assholes in their delivery, but Virgos, if they got it, so do you. So you need to assess while we are in Virgo season, where are you being taken advantage of? Where are things not being reciprocated back to you? Where do I need to protect my energy more? Where do I need to give more to myself first before worrying about other people? There's also this notion with the Virgo and Pisces axis, right? You're a Virgo? See, this is meant for you. So Virgo and Pisces are on the same axis. They're sister signs. They're often called like opposite signs, but they're not really opposite. They're on the same axis. So Virgos and Pisces can fall into this trap of like giving so much that you don't leave anything for yourself, that you're not prioritizing yourself in any way. So with this Virgo Pisces axis, you are being asked to rebalance. This is your opportunity now to look at the playing field and to see where you are giving too much to people, where you need to protect your energy a little bit more. And as we move into Libra season, it's going to be even more of this, right? Where you're balancing the scales and really finding an equilibrium, okay, between giving and receiving, the masculine and the feminine, the work and play, all of it, okay? So this new moon has given a lot of people insight into their relationships, their friendships, their work partnerships. They're beginning to see, okay, this person is always asking me for shit and they're not giving me anything, okay? And it is true that when you give, you are meant to do that from a place of genuine intent, right? When you're giving to people, you're not supposed to be thinking about, okay, but what am I going to receive back? So that's not what I'm telling you to do. I'm not trying to tell you to do tit for tat. Like, I'm only going to give you this if you give me that. What I am asking you to do is to assess the relationships in your life, okay? And to ask yourself, is this providing me anything? Or am I only giving my energy away? And from that, you need to do with that what you will, right? You need to make adjustments as necessary. And one is because Venus, the planet of love, beauty, money, value, is in the sign of Libra, which is about relationships and that balance, becoming more whole within yourself. Um, yes, we'll leave that there. So Venus is already having us do this assessment within our relationships to see, okay, where are the scales imbalanced? What can I do to get them back on the right track? And when the sun moves into Libra, then we're going to be doing that completely on an overhaul. But I think with the combination of the new moon in Virgo that we just had yesterday, and then Venus moving into the sign of Libra, and the opposition that we had to Saturn, we're beginning to see right now what seems unfair. And we can have the opportunity to act on that now versus waiting for it to happen later. Okay, but the thing is that I have a problem where I always start overthinking about why I want something in return, or am I being selfish? So I think, that's where intention comes, where you need to start asking yourself, what are your motivations when you're giving to people? What are your motivations? Do you want someone to say good job? Do you want someone to do the same thing for you? Are you doing it out of the kindness of your heart? And when you ask yourself that, like right before you give to someone, that can help answer your own question, right? Like, okay, maybe your motivations for giving to other people are selfish. And that is something that you'll have to work on, is to be giving without expectation, okay? Because that is still what we need to do. Now, the other side to that is having boundaries, right? So boundaries and generosity do work hand in hand. You can be generous and still have boundaries, right? So maybe this is like the third time someone's asking you for money. You were generous those 3 times before, but now it's time for you to have boundaries and to say, "Hey, look, I cannot be your financial institution. I can no longer provide this service for you." Um, that's one example of a boundary when it comes to giving to people. Um, Now you got to ask yourself too, am I doing this because I want someone to be with me, or I want someone to think better of me, or am I just doing it because I'm feeling like I'm in a giving mood? Okay? So think about your intention behind giving. Then I want you to think about yourself as someone who is worthy of receiving. So if you need to set a boundary and say no to someone else so you can say yes to yourself, that's not selfish. That's you taking care of a need that you have. Okay. So by inquiring on your intention, asking yourself, why am I saying yes? And why am I saying no? You can get to the bottom of this energy exchange and you can really see, oh, okay, I need to say no to this person so I can get the rest that I need, or I need to say no to this person so that I can make sure I have enough resources to accomplish whatever I need to do for the day, for the week, for the month, what have you. I'm doing well, Dominant. How are you? What up, Red Revenge? And everybody in here, life is beautiful art. You are the artist. You make your own art. Absolutely. You have to create your own life for yourself. Okay? So, ask yourself what your intentions are. Am I giving because I want someone to owe me something? Am I giving just because, I'm feeling extra generous today? Um, and take other people's reactions as information and data and just put it in your brain, okay? You don't have to act on it. You don't have to do anything with it. It's easier said than done. Absolutely, because for Virgo feels that giving is a duty that you have to give. And the thing is, you don't. You don't have to give, okay? Anything that you do provide, any service that you provide, anything that comes from you, you have a choice. And it will sometimes feel like you don't have a choice. And that's again where your boundaries need to come in. And that's where we talk about the Pisces Virgo axis. They are opposites, but they're the same thing. Pisces can often get so lost in giving to other people that they leave nothing for themselves. And the same thing happens with Virgo, right? Virgo does it more out of a sense of duty, and Pisces does it because they're like bleeding hearts. But your intentions and your boundaries are still so important, especially because if you're giving to someone with a string attached to it, you're not only hurting yourself, you're hurting them too, because they're entering into some agreement or contract that they don't have, that they didn't necessarily consent to, right? Because if you're keeping it in your head that they have to pay you back or that they now owe you something, that gift that you gave them isn't a gift. That gift that you gave them is now a liability. And, you're setting them up to fail. You're setting them up to disappoint you. And that's not fair. That's not fair to either one of you. Thank you, Start. I'm glad to have you here. So start asking yourself what your motivations are and ask yourself your motivations and intentions and create boundaries for yourself. Okay. Okay. So I'm trusting that that makes sense to you in some way. I'm trusting that you begin to integrate that in your life in some way if it resonates with you. And if it doesn't, I'm trusting that you will find the appropriate advice or teacher or experience to help you see how to, give without expectation, but also set firm boundaries to help you feel like you are also being taken care of. Because Virgo and everyone else involved, you are important. We all are important and we all need to take care of ourselves, right? It's the whole cliche of needing to put on your own mask, your oxygen mask, before helping someone else. So make sure that your boundaries are taken care of first, your needs are taken care of first, and then give to other people once you identify your motivation. Now, if you find the only reason why I want to help this person is so they help me back, maybe just don't help them at all. Okay, don't do it's not the right time to give. You're not in the right energy field to give. This gift is coming with strings attached, and that is not a gift, right? That is a one-sided contract. So start there and then see how that grows for you, see how that changes things for you. And also ask yourself, if this person never gives me anything back, am I okay with that? Am I going to regret this gift that I gave them if they never give me anything back, if they don't even do as much as say thank you? And if the answer is, no, I still wouldn't give it to them, even if they didn't say thank you, then don't give it to them at all. Okay. The expectation of something in return makes giving less joyful. Okay. I am 35 years old. Rinchin, how are you? So I think this is a very important thing for us to talk about during Virgo season and during Pisces season, right? Because that access point, when we are in Virgo season, we can feel more inclined to give to people. We could feel a responsibility to give of ourselves in some way, and the same thing in Pisces season. So we need to really be asking ourselves, you know, oh, thanks, Start. We need to really be asking ourselves what our intentions are, what our boundaries are, because setting boundaries is an expression of self-love, okay? Protecting yourself and your energy and your resources and making sure that you're good first is one way to show yourself that you love yourself. And that's what we all should be doing, is loving ourselves first. And then from this place of centeredness, from this place of love, then giving to other people as we see fit. Okay. So, no, you are not responsible for other people's happiness, for other people's health, for other people's wealth. That is not your job. If you're a mom, it kind of is your job, but only for your children, not for people outside of you. Okay. Um, I'm speaking to people, where do you look? So when I'm speaking on my phone, I'm looking at the comments a lot. So I'm so glad you came here to Start. Thanks for joining me. Happy birthday season. I'm wishing you all of the best abundance and all of the righteous desires of your heart. All right. Um, you are so deserving. And Virgos, this birthday season probably feels a little bit different than previous ones. And it has everything to do with Saturn. Saturn is doing its sky daddy thing and is really, you know, teaching you some tough lessons, delivering some strict karma, and showing you where you can no longer remain the same. So, while this can be really challenging, this can also be very transformative, and it can lead you to, the best version, the highest version of yourself and your reality. It doesn't feel fun necessarily, but it is for your highest good, especially if you take that perspective, right? Um, if you take the perspective like, okay, I'm going to use everything that happens to me as an opportunity to become closer to myself, to my goals, to God, to source, to whatever it is that you believe in. If you choose to look at everything in your life that happens as an opportunity, as realignment, then these things that we go through feel more purposeful, right? It feels like, okay, I'm not being punished. This is just to help me. What's a Ouija board? Ouija board is a way to communicate to source, to spirits. I don't mess with Ouija boards. It's not my thing. I am into tarot and astrology. That is a realm where I am comfortable. Ouija boards, not so much, not so comfortable. I feel like you need to be mindful of the portals that you are opening up, the channels of energy that you are opening up, You need to be aware of potential consequences. And if, you know, Ouija boards are still up your alley, then do what you're going to do. I don't suggest messing around with things that you don't understand, but it's also a surefire way to learn to learn things very quickly. So do you what up, Ella? So Virgo season, especially this year, we have a lot of karma that we are living through, and not karma in like a you did something wrong sort of sense, but in a every action has an equal and opposite reaction sort of way. So not in the woo woo, oh, you did something in a past life and that's why things are happening to you now. It's more so like you're seeing the consequences, both good and bad, of your actions. You're seeing the way that everything is kind of piled up and presented themselves to you. You're seeing bats around you. I have this spirit animal book. I'm going to look up what bats mean. Maybe it'll help you. Animals, and if someone else has seen an animal, you want me to look it up. Since I have the book out, go for it. I'm a firm believer that everything can be a sign if you're looking at it as a sign. I prefer to look at everything as having meaning. That's just how I roll. It doesn't have to be the way you roll. But here's what a bat means, according to this book. This coffee is not very good, but that's okay. We persist. So when a bat shows up, it means to let go of those habits and attachments that no longer serve you. Welcome the changes that are long overdue. The ordeal that you're facing is a necessary part of your transformation and an initiation into much more spiritually directed life. It's time to confront and conquer your fears, trusting that doing so will bring about dramatic and beneficial changes. And it also says to mingle and socialize more with others, perhaps by joining an ongoing class or group activity. Okay, so that's what it means, or that's what one interpretation of seeing bats means. If you have an animal that you've been seeing a lot of lately and you would like for me to look it up, leave it in the chat. Another thing, I have a Patreon. It's $11.11 a month, where we go through tarot and astrology, specifically your birth chart. We talk about how to read your birth chart. We talk about the transiting moon placements, the new moon, the full moon, everything in between. Essentially, it's a space where I can mentor you. You also get at least 2 free readings a month where you can ask any question and I respond with either tarot or astrology or both. That Patreon is called Lover Goddess. You can find me literally by searching it up on Patreon. If you are a regular here, then you know that a donation of $11.11 gets you 1 reading on the live. But if you join the Patreon, then you have it's $11.11 a month, and you have access to me all month long. How did feel? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Sky Ranger. But yes, this is a great reference book, especially if you feel connected to animals. I am constantly seeing little animal messengers. And so I got the book because I'm always wondering. Out here we have roadrunners, like from the cartoon. There's legit roadrunners always around. And they're also in this book, and they have a very interesting message. So I am super curious about animals and animal spirit meanings, blah, blah, blah. So again, if you have seen animals frequently and you want to know more about what they mean, I can definitely look it up for you since we have the book right here. If there's anyone that would like a reading, go ahead and send 1111 to the Cash App in the tag. And again, I do have a Patreon called Lover Goddess. If you want to work with me more one-on-one, find me over there. Yeah. Yeah. Am I a man, Oprah? Sure. Sure. Whatever you want me to be. Long story short, if your interpersonal relationships have been feeling challenged lately, you have the opportunity to make some adjustments in your life. Virgo season is priming you for that, right? When we think about Virgos, they're really good at organizing. They're really efficient. They're really good at, making things better than they were. So in that way, Virgo season then is trying to get you to up level your life, to upgrade your life. I don't know anything about Indonesia. I know it's a series of islands. That's all I got. That is all I got on Indonesia. Thanks for asking. I am a Virgo rising. My friends like to make fun of me because I always mention that, like, as a Virgo. As a Virgo rising, yeah, I can always pull cards for you, Lita. Do you have any specific question, or do you just want to see what pops out? Lita is part of the Patreon, so like I was mentioning, when you are a patron member, you get to ask questions anytime I'm live, and I'll pull cards for you. Whatever pops out. Okay. Do you want to do an Isis oracle? I don't think I've ever pulled Isis cards for you. That might be fun. But you tell me if you are down for the Isis oracle. It has pretty lengthy explanations in here. Sure. I like it, but it's a little too intense to do like all the time. So I really feel like these cards, you can work with their energy for a lot longer. So let's see, what does Lita need to know from the Isis oracle deck? Oh, Jesus. That was like 7 cards. So let's get 2. 1, 2. Okay. The first one is the flower of life. And it says divine creativity and manifestation. I feel like there's always some card talking about creativity for you. Okay, and then here's this. It's pretty long. This live I'm gonna leave recorded, so if you have to go or if you can't listen to everything right now, it will be available for you to watch around the 34-minute mark, okay? But I'm gonna read it to you now. It says, you are entering a fertile period of your life. Focus on your innate creativity and how potent this is becoming and watch it rapidly grow. You are guided to think of yourself as a creative being and to surrender your control over how things will manifest and instead allow them to do so. Don't resist change, instead flow and let it happen. Now is the time for your blossoming. It says your soul is hungering for creativity and manifestation of the beauty of your inner world, to witness it and to live it in your physical world too. Much of your spiritual energy is directed into creative process, and your creative powers are growing fast now. As you are gaining more potency in your creative flow, it is important that you use this ability wisely. Become aware of how easy and quick your thoughts and feelings are manifesting into conversations, situations, and responses from the universe. Notice how quickly your prayers are confirmed through signs, dreams, intuitions, and opportunities opening up for you. You are becoming more and more swiftly that which you choose to think, feel, speak, and believe. This oracle suggests that the time is ripe for you to choose to align yourself with love each morning so that your thoughts will serve you well and the manifestations you set in motion will be ones that enhance your life. It can require time, habit, and consistency to change patterns of thought and behavior, but it can be done. You are guided now to allow yourself absolute and radical permission to detach from your past thoughts and behaviors, to bear the challenge of not knowing who you are or how you will be on the other side of the transformation in order to let it happen. Almost done. The flower of life holds the secrets to allowing creative change and transformation of circumstances, manifestation, and healing in the easiest and most enjoyable ways possible. The flower of life contains repetitive patterns, each interlacing and interrelating to each other, like the holograph that contains the whole within each part. In this way, all that is required is to tap into one part, one element, one thought, or one behavior that relates to your desired creative outcome and integrate it into your life. All the rest will follow through natural connection. And then let's see. The Oracle of the Flower of Life also brings guidance that you are in the midst of a changing pattern. And although it might be uncomfortable at first, it holds the seeds of what you desire. And to allow it to happen is wise and loving to the self. Be brave, beloved initiate. The flower of life is nurturing you into a more whole expression of your divine self. Yes, there will be moments of questioning or doubt. Thank you, Rajil. But they are such a small part of the beauty unfolding for you now. Enjoy the flowering of your soul light into this form on the planet in all its diverse beauty. Okay, Lita, so this is the picture of the flower of life. It would be really good for you to Google it, maybe put it as your wallpaper, print out a picture of it, draw it yourself, because through this is sacred geometry. I don't know if you are familiar with sacred geometry, but through this and looking at it more, you can set your intentions for the changes that you are manifesting in your life. So whatever changes were popping up into your mind as I was reading, you can look at this with your intentions. Yes, exactly. So these are really powerful geometric shapes that can access your subconscious. So you want to use that mindfully. You can even look at the flower of life while you're listening to affirmations or while you're doing your visualizations, that sort of thing. So that is the first card. And I would also encourage you to write any of that down. Go back and listen to it. Write any of the key points down in your phone, in your journal, or what have you. If any of it resonated, write it down, because it's so easy for us to hear things and be like, yeah, and then to forget about it all later. So the second one you have is the key of life. I'm going to read that next. If any of you are interested in a personal reading, go ahead and send 1111 to Boho Healing Co. That is the cash tag in the title. Or if you want access to free readings anytime I go live, which is at least 4 times a month, then feel free to join the Patreon. So Lita is a patron member. So she gets to ask whatever she wants anytime I am live. Okay. I really don't like that coffee. It's not good. But I keep drinking it. I keep drinking it anyway. The next one is the key of life. Interesting. So the first one was the flower of life. And this one is the key of life. And we see the ankh there that she has. She also has another type of key in... No, it's on the bottom of the ankh is a different type of key. So both of them are about life. Keys and flowers of life. Let's find key of life. Whew. My leg is falling asleep. Here we go. This is for patron member Lita. Lita, Lita. Says the key of life is the mysterious Ankh, the looped cross held in the hand of Isis. This mystery is opening to you now. The Ankh portends new life being born through you now. It could be in a creative sense or in a physical sense, in terms of health, or even a child that wishes to be born, or a new project that needs to be created in service to humanity. This new life being born in whatever form will enrich your life, bringing you more into wholeness and fulfillment. Let it happen. That's dope, unfortunate pixel. I welcome all grandma energy for sure. Grandmothers are so important. The Ankh comes as a blessing and confirmation that new life is seeking to express itself through you now, and encouragement that you allow this to occur. Something has started to be born through you at this time. See through it, beloved. Don't let struggle to survive from lack of attention or care, or a belief that it will not be enough in any way, or it will be too hard to handle once it is created. The Ankh says that life will prevail and your creation will come to pass. Do not give up on your creative destiny. Stay with it. You are flowing in the right direction and you have spiritual support from the unseen worlds. If you are unsure what your creative destiny may be, or if you are unaware of the exact nature of the new life being born through you now, remember that sometimes the creation will be a project or object, a relationship, or a new human life. Sometimes it is even a new way of thinking that is wise and heart centered and will be available for others to draw nourishment from as an alternative to more destructive and addictive thought patterns for which humans can struggle with from time to time. There is one creative process common to all of humanity, and that is the birthing of the soul light into form. Let's see what you said. It's dead on, as I was thinking last night to give up on my business and dreams. No, no, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. No matter what other forms of life are being created through you now, the mystery of the Ankh reveals that you can know for sure that you are growing spiritually at this time, and to allow more of your soul light into your life. What this means is that no matter what the appearance of your circumstances in your life right now, no matter whether you feel alive with creative flow, energized and happy, or whether you are in despair as your old world no longer brings you peace or seems to be falling away, your divine soul is behind it and new life is emerging. It is safe to trust and to allow this process to unfold. Let's see. This oracle also brings a special message to those on the creative path. If you have hit a blank page or a dry well for inspiration, if you are encountering doubt in your ability to create and flow, do not despair. The Ankh promises fresh inspiration will return to you, and you can be assured that just as the Nile floods filled with life after it has receded, so too will your creative flow soon return. Your creative days are not over. Your creative well will rise again, and you will feel youthful, energized, and full of hope and promise. That's it. So this is the other image for you to look at. But girl, it is very clear every single time I pull your cards, you are meant to create things, okay? You are meant to create. You are meant to tap into like the void, right? We create from the void. We turn nothing into something. And you are certainly meant for that, okay? So don't give up. Don't give up. We need to persist. Good. I'm so glad you love it. You need to persist in the pursuit of your goals. Thank you for um, reminding them. I think for Cash App, it's just Boho Healing Co. though. Boho instead of Bohemian. But yes, the reading that I'm giving Lita is because she's a patron member. If you would like to join the Patreon, it is $11.11 a month, and then you have access to live readings whenever I'm live. Or you can send $11.11 as a donation, a one-time donation, and I will give you a reading currently. So totally up to you. And if not, there's always something to gain by listening to other people. A lot of the times, like attracts like. So people tend to be feeling similar things or going through similar things in any sort of group or chat that you feel energetically drawn to. So, even though I was reading to Lita, some aspect of it might have stood out to you. And in that case, take it and use it to your advantage. Okay. I feel like it's a familiar thing, right? To create things and then to wonder about its value, to wonder like, why am I doing this? Does anybody care? Um, and so in that way, the cards for Lita are very relatable because they're telling you, don't give up on your dreams. Continue to create, continue to explore what you're capable of. Allow yourself to have faith in what's to come, right? The future is limitless, and we as humans, we limit the future by thinking of our past, right? We're like, well, that's never happened before, so it can't possibly happen again, right? A lot of people have already decided what September is going to bring for them, and we're only like 2 or 3 days in. I don't even know what today is, but a lot of people have already decided, oh, September sucks. I'm not going to have clients, I'm not going to have a deal, I'm not going to get a new job, or I'm not going to get a car this month. A lot of people have already decided what September is going to bring for them, and you know, we're barely in it. So the future is not bound by the parameters of the past, but when we put limits on ourselves, that's more detrimental. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? If we're like, well, that's not going to happen this month, then we're the ones who made that true. So every day, remind yourself anything is possible. Today could be the day that I go viral. Today could be the day that I get, a $10,000 deposit. Today could be the day that I meet the love of my life. Today could be the day that, you know, anything. Today could be the day for anything, but it's our own mentality that sometimes turns opportunities into, I guess it's our own minds that waste potential opportunity. And I'm guilty of that too sometimes, where I'm like, great, another day to do the exact same thing that I did yesterday, but that just shows us where we need to put in a little more work, where we need to do more evaluating, where we need to be more open to the mysteries of God, of this universe, of the creator. The creator can literally do anything. They created this whole construct. So we never truly know what the day can bring. And if we can align ourselves with the mystery of it all and really remind ourselves, like, the future is not fixed. And I don't know everything. And I believe that God does know everything and God can do anything. So why wouldn't God help me with this or that or something else? And this, you don't have to be religious in order to smell what I'm stepping in right now. If there is a higher power, and I feel like there is, that higher power knows more than I do. I was like, it doesn't matter to me how it happens. I just know that it's going to happen. Doesn't matter to me when this happens. I just know it's happening. And to walk in that knowing, right? That's the hard part, to walk the walk. You don't have to know how. You don't have to know the how. You do need to have faith in something, in your higher self, you know. Bye, Lita. I'm so glad you're able to come through. And you're right, Daniel, absolutely. It's a relationship with God, and it will all work out according to whatever is supposed to happen. And the more we can get jiggy with that idea, the better, right? So I'm not particularly religious, but I'm glad we can agree on this concept, right? That there is a creator who created this simulation, this construct, this dunya, this whatever you want to call it, this world. And it is operating at a higher frequency than me. So this higher power has to know something that I don't know. And therefore, anything can happen. Anything is possible. Yep. I've definitely been working with this as well in my life. And you know, some days are easier to root into that knowledge than others. I feel like meeting together and having conversations like this really helps me when it comes to my faith, when it comes to my ability to create the life that I most want to live. And it also helps me with my perspective. And I am affirming that listening and participating here in this live is also helping you in some way, bringing you something that maybe you didn't know you needed, or maybe you did know you needed it. But that's always my goal, is to add to the good, right? To add to the positivity and, you know, to create a deeper sense of community. It's all about relationship with God, and it's never going to be easy, but you have faith in God, nothing will destroy you because you have God guiding you. Yeah. And, you know, maybe by leaning into faith, I do believe leaning into faith does make things easier, because you having faith means you believe that something is going to work out. Okay. And if you have the belief that something is going to work out, that makes whatever storm you're going through easier to navigate, because you know, okay, whatever this is right now, it's going to work out. It has to work out. So, in that way, it can be a little easier if you are anchored in your faith. And if faith is truly part of your daily life, it can absolutely assist you. Let's see what we. Yep. So, there's going to be things that test your faith all the time, that test your faith in yourself. And sometimes it's your own ego. Sometimes it's you that's testing your own faith. You're like, yeah, right, that can't happen. Yeah, right. You know, and you're standing in your own way. But ultimately, yes, if you believe that everything in your life is happening for the highest good of all involved, and that is going to lead you to your highest path, then it makes it a little bit easier to navigate. It's been really nice to chat with you guys today. It doesn't seem as though we have any donations today, so I think I'm going to get going before the baby wakes up. Again, I do have a Patreon if you are interested in working with me more closely, one-on-one throughout the month. Go ahead and find me on Patreon. It's called Lover Goddess. Otherwise, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. I will be going live as frequently as my baby takes a nap. She used to take a nap every single day. Now it's hit and miss. She doesn't take a nap all the time. So when she does nap, I will be on here chatting with you, keeping the vibes high. um, and, just affirming that you receive all of the righteous desires of your heart. I think just push overtime. I'm glad you feel good. And remember, you are important. You don't need to sacrifice yourself in order to take care of other people. Okay? You can still love people. You can still take care of them. You can still give without running yourself ragged. Okay? It might require some adjustment in your personal life. It might require adjustments in your daily routines and activities. But in no way do you have to sacrifice yourself for other people. You can still prioritize yourself and be there for other people. It's a delicate balance, but it is possible. Anyway, I hope you have a great, whatever today is, Tuesday. I hope the new moon treats you well. I hope that you receive great news today. Lots of money in your bank account. Some good food, some good love, all of it. Thanks, Stephen or Stephen. Stephen. I think faith is believing God's going to help you out. So if stressing there, exactly, there's no faith. That's one thing. If you're despairing, then you don't have faith, right? And that's not to judge and be like, you don't have faith. That's just to point out that, especially if you're religious, but even if you're not, if you are constantly in a state of fear and worry, your faith game, you need to do some extra work when it comes to your relationship with faith. Absolutely. Great point. Great point. Wonderful. And even if you don't believe in God and you just believe in a higher self or a higher version of yourself, like you need to also trust in yourself, that higher version, to get you where you need to go. Trust in your ability to take your current circumstances and turn them into something better. Okay? Okay. I'm going to talk to you later. Thanks for hanging out with me. I needed this. I don't know if you did too, but I'm glad you were here anyway. Bye.